President Biden's desperation is showing again as he tries to pump up Democrats before the midterms. His party's chances are dwindling by the day, just as Americans are about to get pummeled by even higher gas prices. So what is Joe's solution? A good old-fashioned bribe. President Biden treating our nation's emergency oil stockpile as his own personal piggy bank. Biden is releasing another 15 million barrels, even though our reserve is at its lowest level in nearly 4 decades. And the best part? Biden isn't even being coy about his scheme.
I have been doing everything in my power to reduce gas prices since Putin's invasion of Ukraine caused these price hikes. I've been acting so aggressively. Without the steps we've taken over the past several months to ramp up production and lower prices and get relief to consumers, bring down the price you charge at the pump to reflect what you pay for the product, you still make a significant profit. Your shareholders will still do very well, and the American people will catch a break they deserve and get a fair price at the pump as well.
And seconds later, the same guy claimed that politics has nothing to do with it.
What is your response to Republicans who say you are only doing this SPR release to help Democrats in the midterms?
Where have they been the last 4 months? That's my response.
Is it politically motivated, sir? This
No,
move
it's not.
3 weeks before the midterms?
Look, it makes sense. I've been doing this for how long now? It's not politically motivated at all.
Okay, so here we are. The truth is that gas went up 50% before the first shot in the Ukraine, and yet Biden is making a decision that he's got to tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, the lowest it's been in 4 decades. Why is he doing that?
He said, because he's been doing it for a long time. That's his answer. I like to go grocery shopping, and
Really?
I'll go and I'll buy lamb chops and I'll stock up on dinners, and I'll get home sometimes and I'll text them. I'll say, so what are we having for dinner? And she'll say, Jesse, you know what? Sorry, I got home late. You're going to have to order delivery. And I'm like, wait, I just went grocery shopping. You're saying now I have to order out? That's Joe Biden.
Oh,
that
that's
is
good.
what he's doing.
I get it.
He is.
I do not follow this analogy.
I follow.
You follow it.
His food delivery costs, I've been eating at him
Yeah, I know.
for a few days.
Trust me, yeah, especially the ice cream. So if you're reining the rainy day fund, and it's not a rainy day, he's been saying we're going to have nuclear Armageddon with Russia. He's been saying China's about to prey on Taiwan. He's been saying that climate change is making these hurricanes more ferocious. Those are when you want to use the rainy day fund, not when the Democrats get to get rocked. This guy, no wonder Hunter Biden handles the finances and the money, because he's reckless. He's absolutely reckless, and he's leaving the cupboards bare. Remember when Trump came in during COVID, and he's like, the cupboards are bare, there's no PPE. That's because Obama and Biden left it bare. Look what happened when Trump came in. He said, military didn't have any bullets. That's what President Trump said, but we had to restock. And now the same thing's happening with oil, and the same thing, Judge, is going to happen with our armaments, because we're giving it all to the Ukrainians. It's very, very irresponsible. And there's no environmental difference, right?
Right.
There's still going to be the same emissions, but American workers and companies aren't going to get paid.
Suffering.
We paid for these stockpiles, the taxpayers. Now, the taxpayers aren't supposed to be taking a bath here. What are we going to do? We're going to sell the oil that we paid for to the Chinese because Hunter has a connection, and then we're going to take the revenues and then buy the IRS agents guns? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Joe Biden knows it, but that's all he has left.
The truth is, Piers, that, when Joe Biden talked about this, he said that, that the big oil companies, they're making more money than ever, which isn't true, but that they should share the profits. And, Jesse, when you talked about Hunter, don't you think Hunter should share some of the profits, maybe 10% for the big guy? And the whole thing is anti-capitalist.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about President Biden, it's never his fault. Anything.
Nothing.
Is the one thing that I've really noticed from his presidency. It's always somebody else's fault. Usually he blames Putin or whoever he can think of. But actually here, if you chart the genesis of his relationship with the Saudis, for example, when he was running for president, he was very vocal. The Saudis had to become pariahs.
Exactly.
I'm sure that didn't go down well with Saudi, who, of course, consider themselves to be an ally of the United States. Then, of course, he's been flirting again with the Iranians. That, again, will not go down well with the Saudis. So, surprise, surprise, the Saudis are not overly keen to help him out in his moment of need about oil prices, and they've decided to cut production. And Joe Biden is throwing his toys out of a stroller about it. Well, you reap what you sow to an extent. So I think constantly blaming other people, which seems to be his default mechanism for anything which actually could be laid at his door, I think is beginning to wear a bit thin with the electorate. And of course, this is transparently political. You know, this is done to try and correct what's going on at the gas prices, where he saw a little blip up in the Democrat fortunes heading to the midterms, but now gas prices are edging back up again, not falling. He wants to try and stop it. So it's all very disingenuous, very political, and by blaming Putin again, very Biden.
Hashtag.
Very Biden.
All right, you know, Dana, the truth is that, you know, if he releases the 15 million barrels, I mean, that's not going to have any
That's like a
significant
day- it's
impact on the price
one day,
of oil.
isn't it? One
Yeah,
day.
it's just about 1 day's worth. And it's a global market. If you believe in markets, a global market is what we have. And so that's what helps set the price. That's why you need to have more. That's why you should be producing more energy here in America. I think a lot of people are still confused about why on day one his first order of business was to cancel the Keystone Pipeline. Right. And then you had them pass the Inflation Reduction Act, which was really the climate change bill. Look at all of the green groups on the left. When that bill passed, they were thrilled because they got everything that they were promised. And what happened is you had the president opposing domestic energy, trying to force a transition on the country that we're just not ready for, not because we don't want it, but we're just not quite there in the innovation. The innovations will come, and they're exciting, and there's a lot of good stuff down the pipeline, but we're not going to get to what President Biden wants, which is carbon neutral by 2050. If you actually want to do that, that comes with a price. And the price is what you're seeing now. This is a fraction of the price of what you would have to pay. And then you had the president raise taxes on everybody in order to give rich people tax breaks so they could buy electric vehicles that cost $80,000.
All right. The truth is that the president stood there today, Greg, and he demanded that those oil companies ramp up production while he tied their hands. Yeah.
Well, you know, Joe Biden is such an incompetent leader. Even his bribes suck. I mean, if you're gonna bribe us, you know, give us something great. He said that he's saving $420 million a day. Americans are, because of what he's been doing.
Oh, yeah.
So there are 360 million Americans. I did the math, otherwise known as fractions, Dana. Came to an average of $1.30 per American. So how do you break even under the Biden economy when every average American, or the average American, has lost $34,000? You know, I did the math again because I know it's, yes. It'll take 30,000 days to break even. That's 90 years. 90 years to get back the money you lost with this stupid bribe. Anyway, you got to go back to that fatal mistake that the Democrats made, which was that they treated kitchen table issues like a joke. And they treated a joke, which is the virtue signaling woke stuff, as something serious. And so everything went upside down. And we called this. The perfect example when the kids were in lockdown and the San Francisco School Board were busy changing the names of schools. They were voting on it. And then what happened to them? We led with it. They were recalled. And I remember we were saying, this is going to spread. Because, and it's funny, it's like maybe Obama is the only Democrat that watches this show. Because he obviously figured it out, but nobody else did. If they had listened to us when that happened, was that like a year ago? They wouldn't be in this mess. Anyway. That's my theory.
All right.
It's a good theory.
It's a good one.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.